Coming up on Carolina Week, there's talk about another tuition increase, and this time it would target out-of-state students. We'll have live reaction to the proposal from the student body vice president.
The race for the White House is on. Find out how some campaigns are trying to gain the support of students here on campus.
The governor has set aside $4.5 million to boost the salaries of underpaid employees. But is the money really going to make a difference?
We'll have a look at your weekend forecast and Carolina sports.
All that and more coming up.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Thanks for joining us for the January 14th edition of Carolina Week. I'm Jenny McClendon.
And I'm Catherine Chang. Our top story tonight: tuition might be going up again, but maybe not for everyone. The UNC Board of Trustees is considering a tuition increase for out-of-state students. Adam Ben-Simone is a freshman from Pennsylvania. He could have been facing an extra $6,000 in tuition during the course of his final 3 years here. Even though it looks like the figure might not be as high now, he says raising tuition only for out-of-state students isn't fair.
I don't know why they're increasing just ours since we have a lesser population at this school. I think they should also raise in-state tuition too, and if that means less in-state students, then, so be it.
The BOT's original idea had out-of-state tuition going up $2,000 a year for 3 years to put UNC Chapel Hill's charges in line with other peer institutions. Tuesday, Chancellor Measer told Student Congress a $3,600 increase, spread over 3 years, would put Carolina's out-of-state tuition in line with other universities. Either way, $6,000 or $3,600, it's a lot of money.
Student Body Vice President and Tuition Task Force member Rebecca Burford joins us live in the newsroom. Rebecca, what's your reaction to the tuition increase?
Well, I'm totally not for this out-of-state tuition increase, the one of $6,000 or the one that was just proposed, because there hasn't been enough research that's really gone into it. But I do appreciate the chancellor and the board and everyone considering that, the tuition increase should have gone down from $6,000, taking into consideration our competitors and not necessarily just our peers.
Student Body President and Matt Tepper and Out-of-State Association Co-Chair Joy Diggs sent out an email to all out-of-state students Tuesday saying the tuition increase could go to athletic and merit-based scholarships, which means a selected few would benefit from the hikes. What's your response to that?
I'm a big fan of what the Tuition Task Force did. We looked at what we really needed to cover with the tuition increase because students can't just pay for everything on this campus. So things like athletics, Morehead Scholars, things such as that shouldn't be covered in this tuition increase. So the out-of-state tuition increase really doesn't hold the type of merit that I feel that the task force's increase did.
And how important is it to bring Carolina up to the 75th percentile for out-of-state tuition?
Well, I don't think that we should be focusing on bringing ourselves to a certain percentile, and more so looking at this university as its own entity and its own institution. We have different goals and we have a different mission than a lot of these other universities. So we shouldn't necessarily just strive for where we fit along the spectrum, and more so just try to make this university the best it can be.
Rebecca Burford, live in the newsroom. Rebecca, thank you.
Well, the holiday season is over, and now it's time for another one, election season. Students met in Manning Hall Tuesday night to officially declare their candidacies. 18 students are running for the 6 different positions. 10 of those are running for student body president. Board of Elections Chair Melissa Anderson says they'll all have to follow the same campaign code.
Basically tonight we just got together all the candidates who want to appear on the ballot so they can hear the election rules and ask any questions that they might have so that they can be best informed on the campus election process.
The next step for candidates, getting the required number of petition signatures. Candidates can launch their verbal and written campaigning soon after. General elections will be February 10th.
As the Democratic primaries approach, Democratic hopefuls are reaching out to students in a new way, through the internet. Courtney Robinson has more on that story.
Candidates like former Vermont Governor Howard Dean are using the web as a way to encourage college students to become involved in the political process. UNC Chapel Hill senior Rachel Gervich interned with Dean's campaign this summer. She got involved by sitting at her computer.
I got online, I looked at his website, they had an internship application that I filled out and then got in contact with the people at his office. Dean isn't the only politician using the internet to appeal to a younger audience, and it's not a surprise that it's working.
Director of iBiblio, Paul Jones, says there's an upside and a downside for candidates.
Using the internet works for some people. Really what happens with the internet or with mobility or with any kind of computer networking is, can the computer network exploit and build social networks? The successful candidates are the ones who aren't just pushing information at people, but are building social networks in which their constituents, their followers, their volunteers can interact with each other and support each other in a stronger social network.
So as the campaigning heats up, hopefuls are only a click away from reaching the masses. Gervich hopes other students will take an active role in campaigns now that getting involved is so easy.
Even though it is a really big concept with big ideas and very important consequences, it's all begun at a really local level. And that's why the internet is such a good tool, because it can really help people come together and find each other.
The candidates hope plenty of voters will come together and find them. In Chapel Hill, I'm Courtney Robinson, Carolina Week.
Candidates like Edwards, Kerry, and Lieberman also hope online campaigning will give them a boost. The Iowa caucuses will choose their delegates next week.
Few know the university's Department of Construction Management, but its work is everywhere, and so is the color orange. 25 projects are underway right now. The fence is down around the new student union, and workers are completing the final touches. It's due to open at the end of the month. Memorial Hall still has a long way to go, and to move some things along, workers are eating lunch on site. Most digging is finished at the site of the science complex, but the loudest part is not, so this is something we'll have to deal with. The concrete is poured, but steel is just arriving at the massive Rams Head parking lot, so South Campus residents should get used to this view from their windows.
If you are a junior or senior and still living on campus, you're definitely in the minority. That's why UNC Buildings and Grounds Committee is proposing a $65 million apartment-style housing project on South Campus. The goal is to encourage students to stay on campus as upperclassmen rather than lease off-campus apartments. UNC junior Jennifer Harris will graduate before the new apartments are completed. She says new campus apartments would have been perfect.
I'm very upset that they won't be done by the time I graduate, because that would be a really good option for me, and it'd still be a part of housing, so I'm sure you could just sign up for it just like anything else.
If the plan goes through, there would be 5 new apartment neighborhoods on campus.
Some UNC system workers might be receiving fatter paychecks in the near future. Governor Mike Easley has set aside $4.5 million to raise the salaries of low-paid state employees. But not all university workers are eligible for raises out from the state. Carolina Dining Services uses an outside company to operate the food services on campus. Their workers aren't eligible for any of the money allocated for state employees. Lenore worker Bertha Norwood says she serves the students also, and Easley's plan should help employees like her as well.
Even though they're state workers, you're still working around, with the students. We are here to please them.
Easley's plan will help provide state employees a minimum salary of just a bit more than $18,000 a year. The money would come from an administrative reserve fund.
The cameras went up in September.
And now in January, there's already talk of taking them down.
One council member is trying to give the red light to red light cameras.
Can you afford to own a home in Orange County?
I'm a homeowner.
I am a homeowner.
I'm a homeowner. We own a home in Orange County, and so can you.
If you thought you couldn't afford to own a home in Orange County, now you can. Contact the Orange Community Housing and Land Trust for more information.
I helped turn my child's public school into one with extended hours, 6 days a week year-round, filled with loads of academic, cultural, and recreational activities. One with medical and dental services right there. A school where students are excited about learning. There's just one problem. My child doesn't ever want to come home. Turn your school into a community school for excellence. Find out how. Call 1-877-LOVE-TO-LEARN.
A petition to remove red light cameras in Chapel Hill is causing a stir among town council and community members. At Monday night's town council meeting, Councilmember Mark Kleinschmidt presented a petition asking the town to remove the cameras. But supporters of red light cameras presented a petition of their own, asking the town to keep the cameras in place. They say the cameras make sure red light runners don't get away with it. But Kleinschmidt says the town should terminate its contract with the company that runs the program because the cameras privatize the police function.
Because you don't have a privacy interest in driving down the road. If you violate the law, you should be pulled over and given a ticket. Which is exactly what I think we should do. We should allow the police to pull you over and give you a ticket if you violate the law.
Kleinschmidt says 2 out of 3 drivers whose pictures are taken by the cameras don't receive citations. Members of the public will have a chance to voice their opinions about the fate of the cameras at a meeting on January 26th.
Local schools might be in for major changes aimed at helping tailor school curricula to individual students' needs. Students at Chapel Hill Carborough schools could see major changes in the system's structure because of a proposed reform of area high schools. The reform would help gifted students feel less pressure to cram AP courses into their schedules and would help students feel less pressure to have to attend a 4-year college.
They don't really give you any other options. Basically, it's like if you don't go to college, you know, you're going to be working at McDonald's. That's what they say.
The School Reform Committee will present recommendations to the Board of Education in March, but major changes won't take effect before the 2005 school year.
Graduation is more than 3 months away, but seniors pay attention to these deadlines coming up. Seniors taking less than 12 academic hours this semester must submit an application to underload by Friday the 16th. If you're planning to toss your cap in May, your application for graduation is due February 13th. You can get both of these forms from 314 Steel Building or from your professional school. Seniors can visit student stores to order personalized graduation announcements, and you can get your caps and gowns in late April.
UNC students, faculty, and staff have 4 new ways to get around campus. The silver Volkswagen Beetles are members of UNC's new Zipcar program. If you're at least 21 years old, you can sign up to use these vehicles for $5 an hour. After making a reservation online, members only have to pass their membership card across the front windshield and the doors will unlock. The annual $20 membership fee lets members use any of the Zipcars here on campus and others in New York, New Jersey, Boston, and Washington, D.C. UNC Chapel Hill hopes to have the cars paid for in 6 months.
It's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind renting one of this. Weathercaster Meredith Croak joins us now.
Yeah, it's been nice to shed ourselves of our heavy coats this week, Meredith.
Well, the weather has just been great out there, but unfortunately we are in for a little bit of a cool down as we get an Arctic blast towards this weekend. But we will have a sunny start to the weekend, and we do have a questionable Sunday. There could be some rain, and will it be rain or snow? I'll have your answer to that question and your full forecast after the break.
Let your knowledge grow at the North Carolina Botanical Garden. Through public service, research, conservation, and education. The garden brings North Carolina's rich natural heritage to you. It's a beautiful way to learn.
Properly inflating my tires burns less fuel and saves me money on gas. Yeah, I'm saving Mother Nature from pollution, but more importantly, she saved me $11. Ow!
Environmental defense. Get green.
By keeping my car regularly tuned, I save money on gas and repairs. That also means cleaner air. You know, feels good to help save the cash, planet.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
Welcome back. It's been very chilly in the northeast. You can see these clouds in the northeast are associated with some Alberta clippers that have been moving through, dropping some snow throughout the northeast. But for us, still fairly warm temperatures, and you can see clear skies throughout our region. So not much too much to worry about. Some clouds back to the west, and we have to watch that for towards the weekend. But not too much else going on. Just those frigid temperatures up in the northeast. So if you're traveling up there, you have to watch out for that. Let's take a look at your forecast map. And you can see that you will have this low pressure system. This is the system that will move through and bring us some cooler temperatures for the next few days. And the high should be around in the 40s, but the nighttime lows are going to be the real thing to watch out for because we could get down into the 20s. And as this system moves through, it could possibly drop 1 to 2 inches of snow to our north in like Stokes County and Caswell counties, but not too much to worry about just in North Carolina region. And back to the west, you can see this high pressure region. That's what's going to be dominating our weather for most of the day on Saturday. So not too much to worry about there. And there's a system back to the west, and that's the system we have to watch out for towards Sunday and into Monday, because as this system moves through, we could see, and there's going to be some cold air in place, so we could actually see a possibility for some snow mixing in with the rain event. So not too much going on, though, as you can see on the map. Pretty clear skies for us, so it's going to be a nice few couple of days left. So let's take a look at your Carolina Week 4-day forecast. And you can see Friday, 41 degrees, beautiful day to get outside and enjoy the warm weather that we are having here. But watch out for that nighttime low of 19 degrees. Saturday, 42 degrees and mostly sunny skies. And a nighttime low, a little bit warmer, of 28 degrees. Sunday, that's when the clouds are going to start to build in. Watch out Sunday night into Monday. That's when you're going to see the chance for some snow mixing with the rain. 32 degrees for the nighttime low on Sunday, and Monday, 38 degrees, Martin Luther King Day, and 30 for the nighttime low. Let's take a look at your beach forecast now. Beautiful day to go out and take a walk on the beach, 48 degrees and sunny out there. So it's just beautiful weather we're having. A 32 for the low, so still pretty warm, and 52 on Sunday, so that's even above our average temperature for this time of the year, and the low of 35 degrees. Now let's take a look at your mountain forecast. If you want to go out for a hike or go out skiing, 38 degrees on Saturday and 28 for the low, 35 on Sunday and 28 again for the low. So very nice weather out there in the mountains. Let's take a look at your ski forecast now. If you are heading to Appalachian Mountain, there's 9 trails open and a 56 to 91 inch base, and Sugar Mountain has 19 trails open and a 38 to 71 inch base. So some great skiing conditions out there. And if you want to stay local, there's a big game this weekend. The 9th ranked Heels face number 1 ranked UConn. It's going to be pretty warm in there. Let's take a look at those temperatures. By the second half, it's going to get really hot in there as the buzzer winds down to hopefully another Carolina win.
All right, well, we'll be watching out for that hot weather in the Dean Dome, but I guess that's the only weather we're going to see. All right, thanks, Meredith.
Liv Notestein joins us now with Carolina Sports.
Looks like you're going to be rolling up the sleeves in the Smith Center this weekend.
Well, hopefully me and 20,000 other people. It's also going to be a great game. It's also going to be hot in College Park, Maryland tonight. But maybe not so hot for forward Jawad Williams, who's listed as very doubtful for Wednesday night's game at Maryland. The Heels' first ACC road game is the second test of its grueling schedule this week. We'll be right back.
Each year, thousands are senselessly killed by people with no criminal record at all. People like you.
It's springtime in the forest of the black-tailed deer. The young male is feeling playful. It's time for tag. The female flicks her ears. Her way of saying, "Catch me if you can."
Battle lines were drawn when Carolina squared off against Georgia Tech Sunday night in the Smith Center. The word of the day is attack. When the Heels attack the ball or the basket, it's time to scream. Sunday's battle opens with the Heels attacking the basket, shooting 4 for 4 in the first 2 minutes. Are you screaming yet? Because if you're not, you should be. That's better. The Yellow Jackets fought back, leaving Jawad Williams bleeding and woozy. But the Heels would not be outdone and attacked with layup after layup. And as always, a couple of dunks by Rashad McCants. Ultimately, UNC prevailed with Raymond Felton leading the Tar Heels to a decisive 103-88 victory. Look at that face. That is determination. The Heels need to duplicate this toughness when they play at Maryland Wednesday night and against UConn in the Smith Center on Sunday.
I think we have to have a passion for playing. We have to have a passion for the team play, and we have to have some toughness, and it's got to be there in every session, every play.
Wow, Sunday was a busy day for basketball. The 13th ranked women's team traveled up 15-5-0-1 for a Carlisle Cup matchup against top-ranked Duke. The Lady Heels played the nation's best team tough for about 33 minutes, but allowed Duke to go on a 25-3 tear to close out the ball game, losing by a final margin of 79-57. Freshman Ivory Lotta led Carolina with 17 points, but the Heels shot a season-low 29% from the field and went without a field goal for the final 7 minutes and 51 seconds of the game. Lotta took the loss hard, but said she gained something that will come in handy later.
I learned a lot. I learned, like Coach said, I know some down the stretch. I probably took some bad shots. I also learned, more about shot selections. But I think we played well. But it's just the last 6 minutes have really got us.
With the win, Duke gained some ground in the Carlisle Cup, but still trails Carolina 7-4. After the Heels finished at or near the bottom of every defensive category in football last season, head coach John Bunting needed a change. In a strange twist, Bunting found it in a former Duke player and assistant. John Gutekunst was named defensive coordinator Tuesday. He played defensive back for Duke in the mid-'60s and started his coaching career after that. Most recently, Gutekunst served as defensive backs coach at South Carolina for 5 seasons. From the gridiron to the place where people run really fast, it's that time of year again for indoor track and field. Listen. That's the sound of the start of the first meet of the track season. Senior Terry Matthews is all smiles as she prepared to begin her season in the pole vault. And junior sprinter Matthew Means tries to breeze by the competition as he places 3rd in the prelims of the 60-meter dash. He's optimistic about the team as the Heels begin the indoor season.
The team goals at this point of the season is to pretty much just have a consistent indoor campaign and stay healthy. That's the main goal. And to get ready for the indoor ACCs, which is going to be at Clemson this year.
UNC Track and Field will next host the Tar Heel Fast Times on Saturday, January 17th at the Eddie Smith Fieldhouse. The track team is staying inside until the weather warms up, but one team on campus likes to keep things on ice all year long. Carolina Week Sports' Brad Lewis has that story.
They can skate, they can shoot, they can dish it out, and take it. And you couldn't call yourself a hockey player without spending time in the penalty box. They are Carolina hockey players, the club hockey team, that is. Like other club teams, these guys pay a lot of money to play a lot of games and stay up late just trying to win. Ian Brinkley says this club team is different from the rest.
We don't really look at ourselves as a club sport here. We're the only hockey team, where a lot of the other club sports, they have the varsity team for it. So we look at ourselves mostly as a hockey team, not the club hockey team, but the hockey team at North Carolina.
But why put yourself through something like this?
We just do it for the love of the game, actually.
Winger Luke Russ has another take.
I think it's the few fans that come out that we know really love the game, and that's the only reason they're here. Take the drive from campus, come out and watch us play. And we just want to please them because we know that, it may not be the basketball team, top 10 in the nation, but we're out here just trying to make them have a fun night.
The crowd might be small, but those who come out love watching this team. And the players, well, they sure don't play for the chance to earn big money one day.
Club ice hockey is still completely a volunteer sport, so virtually anyone could play. But some hockey experience is definitely required. In Hillsborough, I'm Brad Lewis, Carolina Week Sports.
If you'd like to see the Tar Heel hockey team play, head out to the Triangle Sportsplex in Hillsborough. For action closer to home, the wrestling team hosts its first ACC match of the season Wednesday at 7:30 in Carmichael Auditorium. After a tough loss last weekend in Virginia, 174-pound Mark Canty and heavyweight Ryan Adams look to put the Wolfpack in its place and push the Heels out of their slump. Well, guys, we definitely weren't in a slump today. I had a lot of fun being up here with you guys. Hopefully, you guys have some spirit left for the game on Saturday against UConn.
I'll be there. I'll be screaming.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks, Luke.
Well, when it's difficult to even drive a car down Franklin Street, it's nearly impossible to get through with a fire truck.
The Chapel Hill Fire Department has found a way to maneuver around these roadblocks. We'll show you how when we come back.
Take your order, please.
Yeah. Hi, could I get a number 2 with a lemonade, please?
Could you make that a number 5 and make it a chocolate shake?
Number 5 with a chocolate shake. What are you doing?
I'm ordering for you.
No, actually, I'd like a number 2
with a chocolate shake.
with a lemonade, actually. Sir, could you please stop that?
I just wanted to order a number 5 with a chocolate shake.
I'd really like you
All
to
right,
stop
lady.
that. I'd like you to stop it.
No.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
James Taylor, Michael Jordan, Dean Smith, all famous people with ties to Chapel Hill. And now you can add 2 more to that list. Charles Frazier is a Carolina alumnus who wrote the Civil War epic Cold Mountain. Big Fish, a book about a dying man's journey through life, was written by Daniel Wallace, who lives in Chapel Hill. Both books have been made into movies that have done very well. Big Fish was number 2 at the box office last weekend.
And has that back-to-school stress gotten the best of you already? Then maybe you should head over to the SRC for a free massage. This week, the Center for Healthy Student Behavior is offering free 5-minute massages to students as an introduction to its new massage therapy program. The program is designed to teach students stress management benefits through focusing on particular areas of tension. Massage therapist Matthew Kristen says the program will benefit students throughout the semester.
There's so many deadlines throughout the year that in order to really cope with those deadlines and all the demands of school, they need to find a way to kind of release. And in a half an hour or an hour of massage will definitely do that.
For more information about making an appointment for a massage, check our website, carolinaweek.org.
Chapel Hill's a small town that often hosts big celebrations.
Sometimes fire trucks can't get through the gridlocked streets, so firefighters are finding a new way to come to the rescue. Allison Sossaman has that story.
Firefighters. They risk their lives to protect the safety of others every day they go to work.
This isn't a job you come to just to get paid. This is a job you come to because you enjoy going to work.
Sometimes these brave people have to fight the crowds before they can get in to fight the fires.
As you know, firefighters are always prepared, but the Chapel Hill Fire Department is literally gearing it up a notch.
Firefighter Robert Bosworth says it was the former fire chief's idea to use the bikes during the high-traffic events.
Sometimes they can cover 3 and 4 blocks, and there are calls in that area. Walking to them is slow. And so when he saw the idea of using bikes, it just triggered him and said, let's try it.
The department has 2 red 10-speed bikes. One bike carries fire extinguishing equipment and the other carries emergency medical equipment. The medical assistance is what the bike squad tends to be needed for the most. If there's a big emergency during an event, firefighter Jason Grafford says the bike squad members call for backup and do what they can in the meantime.
If we go in, we can kind of get an idea of what's going on, and if it's nothing, we can take care of the alarm and we can cancel the engines. If there's something major, then we have to wait for the trucks.
Any of the department's firefighters can volunteer for the bike squad. However, Bosworth says the bike squad positions do require a bit more preparation.
You know, some of our firefighters haven't ridden bikes in years. You know, you're not going to see them doing any downhill racing. They have to show judgment to make sure they don't end up underneath the bike instead of on top of it.
It's just a lot of fun to get out and meet people. A lot of people actually, they'll just come up to you and just thank you for doing the job we do.
Bosworth says so far, the bike squad has been an overall success and has helped improve the department's response time. So, at any of the town's big gatherings, students and residents can celebrate safely while firefighters on bikes are patrolling the area. In Chapel Hill, I'm Allison Sossaman, Carolina Week.
You know, Jenny, I actually saw one of those firefighters. Pretty impressive. They can get around on a bicycle.
Very impressive. I think if I tried to do that, I'd have to go get one of the free massages at the SRC, but might go get one anyway. Who knows? But
well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you here next week. Good night.